This meeting is being recorded. Recording in progress. Hey, man. Again, now that I had to go home,
Howdy ho. Guys, Landon's in his house.
I am I am home.
The Barrel Factory, the only thing that Barrel Factory doesn't do well is Wi-Fi. I guess that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Hit bombs, Wi-Fi is non-existent.
Landon, it's
Hey, man.
episode 4 or 3.
4.
Welcome back, episode 4 of The Gritty Guys. Thank you for listening.
Um, Landon, I just like to say this has been pretty fun.
It's been fun.
I'm sure that you guys are bored AF. Hopefully not. We're pretty two smart guys talking about smart baseball stuff.
Very smart baseball stuff. The
And I,
smartest.
and if you didn't, I failed to send the link to Landon, so we didn't promote this last time, which is just an issue.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
also
my fault.
No, it's me.
Somebody's got to take that
How you?
department.
How was your weekend, man?
Because I'm not coaching teams, my weekends are light. Just a couple lessons on Saturday, and then I hang out. Sunday, nothing. But for you,
Saturday and Sunday. Are
Saturday
you
and Sunday,
Texas now?
no. But I'm trying to catch on to the lingo,
Yeah.
so people are familiarized.
Yeah.
Did you get a W this weekend? What happened, man?
Yes, 2 W's actually. 2 turning W's.
Which
It was great.
ages?
Okay, the 9-year-old's back at it again. They played up in 10U. Got after it. Champion. It's great.
That doesn't suck.
And then the 10-year-olds are back at it again. They played in a huge tournament, 12 teams. It's a super NIT.
Awesome.
Won it. Come back in the had to score 5 runs in the last inning and walked it off. Champions. 13-0 now. Let's go.
It's what else can we say? I feel like we have the same conversation every week. We go to the weekend, you play, Barrel Factory wins, and then we talk about it.
It's always ups and downs. So like the 11U majors team, they had a bad Saturday, and so they were the last seed, and they had to play 4 games to get back to the championship. They went to it, they made it. They lost in the championship to a really good team, but they're playing up in 12U, so it's like a little different. Like they're 11U playing up in 12U, and then the 7-year-old team played. They got like third, I think, but they're still working. Like they're still getting their grittiness, if I will.
I'm writing that down. I want to get your thoughts later on what you think about kids playing up, and I want to know if you did it or what you think about it now. But anyways, I'm sure we'll get there.
That's a good thing to talk about.
100%. No, I just wrote it down on my professional notebook of knowledge and learning. Transitioning, Landon, we're actually shout out to the Knicks family. Justin, you're a big savage for actually telling us what we could actually do to make this podcast flow.
Give us some direction.
Give us some direction, because it's just two guys just shooting it. So we're gonna go into Mechanics Monday, and Landon actually had a topics for us. First ever Mechanics Monday segment on the Gritty Guys pod.
Woo!
Landon Dietrich, what's our topic for Mechanics Monday?
Yeah, our Mechanics Monday topic is how to be shorter to the baseball while maintaining power.
That's pretty important.
Very important.
And now that's funny that you say this, because on Saturday, my last lesson of the week, I was talking about, because this kid, and you literally did the thing. We're bringing out the pencil bat again.
Pencil bat.
He's getting into a good spot, but he likes to go that way first. Yeah. And I was telling him, hey, if you keep it tight, you keep it right, man.
Yeah.
Words to live by.
Hey. Yeah.
Instead of going that way, we need to work down that way a little bit more. But,
right.
Different
for everyone.
You go first, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts, because we've talked about this before, but I want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, man. I just think if you can think about it, I try to explain this to the kids and to the high schoolers and college players. I try to explain this to everybody. And I'm saying, okay, if you think about it, let's say we live in slow-mo land where everything is slow-mo. and the pitch takes 10 seconds to get to home, out of the pitcher's hand to home plate. And let's say your swing from when you decide to swing to where you hit the ball takes 5 seconds. That means you got to swing when the ball's halfway, right? Okay, nice. Now, if you shorten it up and instead of taking this long loop back here and you just go wham, and now it takes 2 seconds, you're going to be so much better hitter, not just your swing. You're going to have better eyes because you see the ball that much longer. Now you're seeing it for 8 seconds. And so you see the ball longer. You are going to have better eyes. You're going to recognize pitches better that you might not have to do when you're 9, but when you're 15, you got to recognize pitches. I just always think somebody's like, oh, look at this guy. Look at his eyes. He has great eyes up there. Like he knows what he's looking for. He knows what he's swinging at. And I'm like, yeah, well, check if he has a short swing, because if your swing is long, you're going to be swinging when the ball comes out of the hand, and you're not going to be able to lay off pitches like that. It's just not going to happen.
That is so important for youngins listening to this. Not only does it obviously shortening up the swing does a lot of stuff mechanically for you, more power, you're going to have better contact. The vision part of it is huge. You're going to basically improve. And we talked about last week what was one of the most important fundamental things of hitting a baseball. That might be one of them up there.
It is.
If you're seeing it deeper, not only are you gonna, you're gonna lay off bad pitches, but you're gonna increase your percentage of pitches that are good in the strike zone, the swing act. That's where the money's made. Being aggressive on good pitches in the zone. And if you have to start earlier because your swing you're long back here, you have to make decisions earlier. And we know, man, when you're facing 100, when you're facing a guy who's 95 to 97 with, fastball slider, it's not going to work. You can't make your mind up early. So,
yeah.
What do you? Sorry, what were we going to say?
No, you're good. And on that, man, I try to teach kids probably at a too young of an age to understand anyway, but I'm in agreement. Like, you want to hit the ball, you want to be on the plane of the pitch as long as you can. Like, that's how you hit. You got to, right? But if you get in it on the backside of your hips, like back here, and you get in the zone back here, you're not going to hit that ball hard anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you might foul it off, but you're losing your power because you're using all your energy to get that back here. And then you're going to hit a foul ball, and you're not going to have a powerful swing when you do hit it out front. But if you can go this way and then stay through the ball out front, now, congratulations, you hit bombs, you waste no power, and you have a quick swing.
Yes.
But if I get even outside pitches, man, I get it. You got to let it get deep. But that doesn't mean you're trying to do this way. You're just still trying to go wham that way instead of way out front.
Yeah.
The people need to know.
People need to understand. You guys need to understand this.
Dang it.
And Mike Brumley used to talk about, how would people, and I'm sure that you've done this, where people take 3 baseballs and they put it at the contact points where you go, okay, this one is out in front of you, inside, here's middle, and that angle's kind of steep that way, where this is the outside baseball. In reality, that's the thought. In reality, it's much more towards your front foot, because it's much closer. And it's guys who face velo, it's really hard to let a 94 mile an hour fastball travel to your back foot and hit it back there. You're probably gonna be a little bit late. There's just the thought to keep you inside it. And you brought up a good point with staying short allows you to get inside the ball and helps you get through the baseball. If you're long back here, it's gonna be really hard for you to, 1, catch up, but 2, get your barrel out in front of you and get through the middle of the field with your path. You got to keep it tight. You got to keep it right. Get to the inside of it and get through that sucker. What are some drills that you do? What are some things that you do to help this, to help kiddos out?
Obviously the connection ball is huge. And I like with the connection ball, I want to do a slow-mo first and just let them feel it. And then take your full swing. Just try to keep that ball on as long as you can. And then, man, with that, also what I've been doing lately is I will go to the very back of the net. So, like, if this is the back of the net where the pitch is hit, I'm trying to get them right up next to it to where it's right here, and then them take that swing and be this way instead of this way. I've been doing that, and it never fails. They're way shorter, but also they hit the ball harder because especially the really young kids, like maybe if you got a high schooler who can really whip it, he might lose a mile per hour or two on exit velo. But the little kids who get down here, they lose all their power down here. So if they can go, they hit it much harder.
And that's funny that you brought this up because I have a client who's a young and he's like 7 who had a really big issue with going that way. And we obviously were connected on an intercosmic level because we just channel each other's energy. Me and Landon from Barrel Factory to Denton, Texas. I did the same thing 3 times last week where I've done in high school where you go put the net in front of you to keep casting.
Yeah.
But getting up against that back net, and that's something you kids can do at home. Probably not against a wall in your house, not a brick wall, but if you can find a net, or you have like a soft toss net, you get up against that thing and you can take dry hacks, man.
Yeah, and if you're a Barrel Factory kid, just find a ball bar fence, man. They're everywhere.
Just figure it out, Barrel Factory kids.
Yeah, because also if you are long, man, I know you just said it's hard to stay inside the ball, but if you look at video and you're long and then you say, oh, I wonder why I'm popping up behind first base or behind the first base dugout or rolling it to the left side, that's because there's no in between. Because this is the pop up and this is the rollover. And that's how your swing is. If you get long, you're going to roll it as well. Yep. Those go together. A lot of people don't realize. They're like, well, he's spraying the field. No, he's not. He has flares and roll.
He's smothering it that way and popping up that way. What are you talking about?
When he's a little late, he'll pop it up behind first base. And when he's too early, he'll roll it to short if he doesn't swing and miss. But that one time, maybe somehow the universe aligns and he goes here, and it's like, boom, hit the line drive.
That's the thing, man.
And that's the one that gets posted on Facebook. And you're like, oh, God.
You're like, man, he looks good. And you're like, what? That's the thing, man. If you're not short to it and you're cutting it off, your window is that big. And baseball's hard enough. Yeah. And when the velo ticks up and when the spin rate gets weird, then that window gets even shorter and you're not going to be very happy. Yeah, man, I totally agree with that drill back there. And I think too, part of it, the mental side of it, like the cue part, is there any cues that you use to stay short on top of it? Like if you have a kid who's dumping it, what's the first thing that you'll tell him?
You can do, that's tough because I like for them to figure that out and just feel like what worked for me was if I could start here, I'm trying to be as quick to the baseball as I can. Just turn hips and go. Right. For the kids, like sometimes if they're younger, I have to use like barrel above hands because they are just literally wham, but not a cue I love to use, especially not with a high school kid. But that's something I would use for the younger ones. But like when you get set, just as fast as you can go from here. Yes, I'm going to swing to contact head down. And you're going to be fine, I think.
For sure. Yeah, I was using. Have you ever heard the Barry Bonds drill? What he used to do?
The high tee, try to hit it to the ground?
Yes. Not only that, but he used to do it off flips.
Yeah. Just try to hit it on top of home plate.
That same kid that I saw Saturday that was dumping it back, I was like, hey, man, like try to hit the ball right off the plate. He's like, what? And like he took the first one. I'm like, good, let's go.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you're crazy. Then he go 10 feet further, and then he's like, okay, hit a low liner, boom. Okay, hit the L screen, boom. And then once you're used to that and you're flowing into your regular swing, then it kind of cleans up.
Right.
And what were you gonna say?
Sorry, cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, have some feel about it. Like if you're missing under it, maybe don't miss. Maybe try this. If you're missing under it, do the opposite of that. Miss over it.
We're connected on a cosmic level because that's what I was literally saying. I mean, it's great because I was going to say this weekend, dude, I mean, sometimes I get weird looks because kids go to their own hitting coaches and stuff. And I'm like, hey, miss the ball right over the top of it this much, especially when you see velo, because kids are used to this rainbow. And then when it gets a little bit faster, it's more like, and so, dude, you got to try. If you're under it 2 times in a row, just try to miss over the top of it. And the thing is, hardly ever in-game adjustments. I never say, "Hey, get behind it." That's where the down to the ball hitting comes from and what people say, just because a lot of kids are long back on the backside, dude. And it's maybe this makes me a bad coach as well, but I make the lineup based on how good your swing looks at the plate. Like one kid might hit a bomb and the other kid might hit it off the end of the bat, but some kids get up there and their 2-0 swing is like wham, another kid like falling down, and I'm like, okay, well, you might have hit it and you might have not, but we're sticking this out because yeah.
And that's funny that you say that to miss above it, because I literally made a video yesterday about that because we're connected spiritually.
Yeah, Bregman misses 2 inches above the ball. He tries to.
And
when it's 90, it's rising. It looks like it's rising.
Kids don't understand that, dude. There's a guy, and we've both been there, where he's at mid nines or high nines. When the ball looks like it's coming out of the ground, you can't miss under. Like, you can't think that. And actually, the other day, one of my clients, had a couple of minutes left in the lesson. We were working off the machine. He's like, hey, he's like 13 or whatever. He's like, hey, can we turn the machine up as fast as it goes? I'm like, are you sure that you want this smoke? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So I turned it up, and sure enough, like, he swung and missed, and he's like, this is crazy. It looks like the ball's rising. And I'm like, yeah, welcome to the big leagues, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you better miss above it. He's like, okay. And he's like, I'm trying to swing above my eyes. And like, the ball's here. And he's like, wham, just the first one, he smokes it. And he's like, how does that make any sense? Little adjustments, little physical adjustments in your swing require a big thought or a big feeling behind it, at least for me and what I learned. So if you're missing under it and you're facing velo, try to literally swing and miss above the ball. Try it out. See how it goes.
And man, dude, I literally did that this weekend. So I took BP for the first time in forever because I had some time between practice. The machine was set up.
Heads up parking lot.
Wood bat that's too big for me out there now because I'm weak now. And my first 2 swings, like I'm staying connected. I'm getting behind the ball. I just popped 2 of them up in a row, and the kids are like, "That's not supposed to happen."
Coach Landon's terrible.
And it sucks, which I didn't hit very good BP all day. But I will tell you, it didn't take more than 2 swings for me to go, oh, I need to work more down to the ball. I need to be more on top of the ball. And then I went, wham, and I hit it over 280 fence.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, you actually bring up a good point, actually. Kiddos, you're hitting it. If you have a hitting instructor as a youth player, whatever, even in the low high school levels, if you're hitting batting practice and you're missing, you have to be able to diagnose what you're doing on your own at some point. Some point, because we can't be with you 24/7.
Yeah,
like your coach can't be there. So if you're taking BP and you're just frustrated and you're missing under and under, the definition of insanity is expecting a different result and not changing anything. I totally butchered that quote, but you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah,
it's totally fine. It's Monday. You know how it is.
Yeah,
it's totally fine. But learn your misses and then make adjustments quicker. If that makes sense. You know what I'm talking about?
2 pitches is the maximum, because without, you're going to waste an at bat and strike out.
Yeah. And the big leaguers, like, the guys have got it figured out. If you're in an at bat and you're facing a pitcher and you miss a certain way and you're making adjustments, that's some high level stuff right there.
Yeah. One of my clients went off to Oregon State to play softball. And I think the big thing I did the last couple months with her was just like, remember, I can't come with you. I can't text you all hours of the day. And when you get in the box, you're on an island there alone. It's like, if you don't know in these lessons what's making you do stuff this way, that way, this way, that way, then I am failing you, because you can hit good all day with me, but I don't, get you NIL money. So you got to go up there and rake. So you got to know what's going on. You got to be ready, and you got to be able to make adjustments. So like, we would do lessons and I would be like, so what do you think? And she'd be like, well, damn, you're the hitting coach. And I'll be like, I know that, but I know what you need to do. You don't know. So I can tell you, but until I tell you and you learn, instead of tell you and just teach a man to fish,
Exactly.
And she's great. She's great. She hits bombs. She hits the ball harder than me, but
Yeah.
teach me to fish.
And like I'll tell all my clients that I'll see for the first time, I was like, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions and you're going to hate me. Cause like every miss, like you can't, like you said, if you teach a man to fish, he can catch all the fish he wants. If you're not trying to connect dots together in the player's mind, they're not going to learn it. You know, it's like a kid taking a test in school, but the teacher gives them all the answers and like doesn't grade them. Like they're not going to learn anything. So like my clients hate me because I'll ask them tough questions like, what are you feeling there? Like, what do you think? Okay, you missed. Why did you miss? And then what adjustment are you going to make on this next pitch? And then the more you do it in real time, you'll start to go on your own. Okay, top spin, pull side, out and around or whatever. Okay, now I'll think, low liner, backside. And that comes with time, I think, a little maturity and time. Some of my guys, we and me included, when I was a youth player, you probably shouldn't do this. Just getting pissed during BP because you want to hit homers, and BP's work.
Yeah,
it's a process. It's work. You got to slow it down and you got to make adjustments, make the ones that you need to make. That's good stuff, dude.
That was good. Good seg. Good seg.
I like that seg. Hey, Justin.
Thank you.
Nice abbrev. Thanks, Justin. Good abbrev on the seg. Abbrev is an abbrev of abbreviation, by the way.
So I think we should highlight some players.
Yeah.
From the weekend.
I have ideas.
Well, let's hear it. I'm all ears, buddy.
My player highlight for this weekend is Heath Hand. He's 9. And he's always good, man. He knows what he's doing. But he got up to the plate a couple times, and this was what made me think of the quick swing, because he hits the ball hard, but like he shortened up a little bit somehow in his 9-year-old mind. And I mean, dude, he hit a couple balls on the nose so hard this weekend. Like if I would have hit 5 balls like he hit 5 balls, I would have been like, my weekend was great. Like, and he's too young to even know. He's just like, yeah, hit the ball hard. He gets to second and he just claps his hands together. And then he's done. And then it's over. And I'm like, hey, you know what you just did? And I felt for him too, because he came to the dish one time and he's like, Landon, I'm about to hit a homer. I said, you know what? I hope you're right. He said, I'm going to hit a homer this weekend. So we're playing on like a 185 field, and that's pretty far for a 9-year-old. And he hits a couple balls hard that get to the wall, but definitely nothing in the air that goes that far, which the outfielders are playing at like 130. So they're getting burned left and right. And then we moved to the big field, which is 225. And he hits one dude so deep. He like 3-hopped the wall. And I was like, Heath, if we were over there, you would have hit a homer. So he gets into third. He claps his hands together. Woo! And I'm like shaking him. And I'm like, if you would have hit that on the other field, it would have been a homer. And then his face is like, he was so mad. He's so mad.
He's like, shut up, coach. What are you talking about, man? That's awesome, man.
You got a guy?
I have a guy. And oddly enough, and they're mutually exclusive, but this kid happens to be the son of Justin Nix, who is our producer for Gritty Guys Pod. So
yeah,
thank you. I'm not trying to jazz you, but like this kid is just, and I have a lot of kids that are raking right now, but this guy here, so Justin Jagger, his name's Jagger Nix, first of all.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Let's unpack that. That is a TV name. He's got to make the big leagues.
First thing I told their family when Jagger came in months ago, I was like, Jagger Nix is a big league name.
Next up to the plate, number 9, Jagger Nix.
And this is a kid who's like, he's got some flavor, some flair. Like he likes color. He likes his favorite color. He wears, every time I see him, he wears like neon or like Pepto-Bismol pink shorts. Pink grip tape, and he's just him. Like he's just sick, and I was never that cool. And Jagger, if you're listening to this, you better not get too big, buddy. Justin sent me some numbers. In 8 games, 21 appearances, 16 at bats, Jagger is hitting 750 with an 810 OPS, 810 OBP, a 2200 OPS, and a 1300 slugging. 12 hits, 6 singles, 4 doubles, a triple, and a homer.
Bro,
I think last time I checked, a 750 batting average is a 75% chance that he's going to hit the damn ball for a hit.
how old is Jagger?
I think he's 11,
Roundabout
12.
11.
He's in 12U, so I think he's 11.
12U. Okay. That's dude. And you know what the best stat is? He sounds like he walked 5 times, hit by pitcher, walked 5 times. Man, I get it. Walks are good, but he's going up there ready to hit the baseball. That's my favorite.
Funny when I saw him last week in the cage, Justin said, "Bro, he's getting in there," and he's like, "Hey,
Yeah,
he's ready to go. Pack pitch 1."
Yeah.
So and like that's a lesson in itself, right? We could talk about that for 2 hours. Be ready to hit pitch 1, man.
Do some damage, man. Let's go. Hey, you're
do
playing.
damage early.
You're on offense, not defense. Go ready to hit Jagger. Man, listen, buddy. It's frowned upon for coaches to like recruit players off other teams, you know. But if
Listen,
you
I
want to
know a
make
guy, Jagger.
you're gonna make the hour and a half drive, sounds like you can do whatever you want.
Jagger, I know a guy. He's pretty good.
You want? Hey, I gave Jagger. Here's my thing. I gave two. The game was tied. 3-hole and 4-hole were up in the 9U game. I gave a 3-0 green light twice in a row. One was a single. One was a homer. And everybody's like, "Dude, are you stupid?" I'm like, "No, dude. We're as long as my shirt says Barrel Factory, we're swinging. You know, when we strike everybody out and don't score any runs, we'll change it to strike zone. You know,
3-0 takes should be illegal.
Dude,
I was running for president. If I was running for president, my first initiative in office is to abolish 3-0 takes. Stop taking 3-0. Hey, I have a bunch of kids who are mandatory 0-0 take, mandatory 3-0 take, and the same at bat.
Oh man.
And it's like, your coach hates you.
You know, it's tough. And I get, dude, if a runner's stealing, 0-0 take.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to. You don't want to hit into a double play. I've gotten upset with some kids for ignoring my take sign 0-0. And if you don't have a take sign 0-0, you better be ready to swing. And that's hard for kids to understand, is because why give you a take if you're supposed to be looking to swing? Okay. 3-0, I give takes sometimes as well, but man, you can't walk to the big leagues.
You can't walk your way to the big leagues.
You got to hit.
It's freaking impossible. Landon, can we take an ad break?
Yeah.
This episode of Gritty Guys is brought to you by
Barrel Factory. Hey, if you're in the Texas area, if you're in Waco area, and you need good instruction or you need a place to go hit in the AC, Landon Dietrich has his cage. It's big. It's beautiful. It's new. It's got a weight room, right?
Weight room.
There's a field outside. Coach Landon's there. He's handsome. He's got a whole bunch of people there. It's cool, man. So if you're in Texas, if you're in Waco area, go check it out. If you're looking for a team, go play for Barrel Factory.
And if you are a kid in Denton, Texas, looking for hitting lessons, please go check out BTB and do hitting lessons. But also, guys, even my guys, Barrel Factory guys, we say we can't be there with you all the time, right? And I'm there sometimes, but even I have to go with the other teams. The online stuff is great. Get in the online lessons. You can use it anytime. It's nice, man. It's nice.
Yeah, guys. Shameless plug. Thank you, Landon. I appreciate that for plugging me. I wasn't going to do it, but
you plugged me, and I wasn't going to do it, so I appreciate you.
And it's perfect. We're running out of time. Perfect planned ad break. Hey, guys, if you're looking for an online program and you're not working with Landon, text me.
Or if you are, it seems like we're pretty much on the same page.
We're on the same page. Shoot me a text. Shoot me an email. Contact me at Big Time Baseball, Jaden Fine BTB, and we'll see if I can help you out. Landon, can I use the restroom real quick? Then we can get back to it. We're back.
Okay, man.
So it's time. Wait, hold on. Where's my text with you? Let's see. We are now in our
final segment, Q&A.
Now I'm going to post on my side, and I'm sure that you will too. Guys, if you have questions for us, every podcast, the last segment, we're going to answer 2 or 3 questions. We don't have any questions because I failed as a marketer and as a businessman, and I didn't send Landon the link. So like a total 22 people watched the episode last time. But once we promote this one, if you have questions, shoot us a DM. And for some reason, I can't figure out how to allow comments on the YouTube video. I don't know how to do that. It says the comments are, I'm not soft. I'm not like trying to avoid criticism, but I just don't know how to change it. I'll figure that out. But drop a comment down below, shoot us a DM, Jaden Fine BTB, Landon Dietrich, or Barrel Factory. Let us know some questions. Anyways, I have a question for you. How did you, as a player, let's say, let me paint you a picture. You have 4, you get in, you start a game, you're 0 for 4, 2 punchies, a rollover, and a foul out to the catcher. You're obviously a little irritated, frustrated. How did you deal with failure in the game? What did you do?
The first part of my career, I didn't deal with it very well. I used to not be able to sleep if I didn't get at least one hit. Like I just couldn't. I mean, but like I quickly realized that that's not how to play the game because you'll hate it, you know? So dealing with failure, it helps. I did it a lot, I failed a lot, but, I think what helped is how much I just enjoyed baseball. Like it was so fun all the time that I almost like practicing baseball more than I like playing. And I would get in the cage. I could live in the cage, dude. I had hours and hours in the cage. And like, if I failed, that just meant I got to get back to work and try to figure something else out. And if I succeeded, I just would go do the same thing in the cage. I don't know. I mean, I still, it eats me up to fail and do bad, but, like, I think the main thing is like, when I stopped worrying about where I was going to go, like my future in baseball, and just knew I was going to get to keep playing, made it a lot easier. Because like everybody's got a plan, man. Your plan, and some people might believe this, some people might not, but your plan is already set by somebody that's way smarter than you. So when I realized that I am more than a baseball player and my future is already set, and I'll go to church on Sunday and pray about it, and it's like, hey, if I strike out or if I hit a home run, the future's it's set already better than I can imagine. So that made it feel good because my main thing was I wasn't upset for failing. I was upset for failing enough where I didn't get an opportunity to play at the next level. That was a lot. Sorry, but
No, that totally makes sense. And I was in the same boat for a long time as well. It's funny that you say that you weren't able to sleep. Not only was I in that boat, and sometimes I wouldn't be able to fall asleep, but I would actually, to this day, I will have, and I've been retired for almost damn near 2 years. Still have dreams where I'm at the field and I don't get an opportunity, or a coach gives me and it's always at San Diego State, and it's always on a Friday night. I know this because I'm wearing in the dream our black Friday night uniforms. On a Friday night, coach says, "Hey, you're in," and I go to find my helmet and I can't find my helmet, and then I go to the house and then I can't find my helmet, and then I lose my opportunity, and that right there is just anxiety in a nutshell. But you said it perfect, man. I don't know why you're laughing at me. It's terrible.
No, it's just because I've had that, dude. I have that dream still. Like I've had dreams where my bat is just too heavy to swing. Like I get up there and I'm like,
oh, dude,
I can't swing. And I'm like, I'm gonna hit this guy. And I'm like, who gave me this bat?
Yeah.
Or I'll get all the way dressed in the locker room and forget like one sock and have to restart getting dressed, and like the game's going on and I'm missing it. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Never happened in real life, but gosh dang.
And like you said it great, man. Like just submitting to, you can believe whatever you want. Whatever you believe, there is a plan. It's already set, and you can't control the outcome. When you said that you because anxiety, like I said, is worrying about an outcome that you think is going to happen. That's like I can remember, I can't remember what Navy SEAL was talking about it, but when he said they're going through buds, when they go through Hell Week, it's awful. And it's like they only get 4 hours of sleep during the week or whatever. And they say that if you try to think about the end of it, or, if you're going to make it or whatever's coming down the pipeline, you're going to overwhelm yourself. Whereas if you're, in your case, in the context of baseball, if you're worried about what you're doing that day and you're worrying about getting in the cage or what you can do in the game to win and to help your team win, that's a much more manageable piece, at least mentally. Because if you're worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, or in our case, am I going to have a job tomorrow? That puts a lot of pressure on you today. And I didn't handle that very well, TBH, especially in the beginning of my first full year in spring training. But it got better. And two, part of it, you guys were there. You, Cootsy, Quaid, all the boys were there, so it was much easier to kind of unload and to hang out and get food and talk about it. It was kind of therapy. And then we get back. We were the only 4 guys that would hit extra. Like we would do a full day of practice and hit more, and it was like what we did, and it was great.
We rented the cage out and even up the road if they're shutting the facility down. Like
that's right. On our off day, we drove to a park and we hit in the cage in the park, and we're like, "What the hell are we doing?" But it's like we love it and it's fun, and we're with our boys. Is there anything you did outside of the ballpark that helps you relax or kind of decompress?
Man, I mean, I have hobbies, right? I have other stuff that's not baseball. I think Quaid had it the best out of all of us, because he had his wife with him half the time.
Yeah.
Right. So, my fiance is my favorite person on earth, and we talked at like the end of the day for like 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, that's what happened in my day. And she's like, yeah, well, all you're worried about is baseball. I got other stuff going on. And I'm like, you know what? That's true. And so, no, I think, I mean, other stuff was hanging out with you guys, just hanging loose. We'd go to movies, and you're a stay in kind of guy. So I had to drag you out to watch a movie or go to dinner or do a lot of stuff. And I didn't think I would have a visitor today with me being at home, but I have somebody constantly interrupting me. I don't know if you can hear that, but hold on.
Uh-oh. Everybody hold tight. You're going to have the cutest surprise of all time.
This is who it was.
Hello, Barney girl.
Say it hi, Barney.
Barney. She's like,
put me down, sir.
Hairy mess.
If we had a dog in
Florida,
we would have been happy.
I know.
If we had a dog with us in Florida, we would have been happier, 100%. I'm not saying we weren't happy, everybody. I'm just saying we would have been happier relatively. Anyways, do you have any other?
That was a good question. That was a good question.
I only thought of that because I was plunking my guitar before we hopped on. That's what I do when I get upset or annoyed. I play the guitar. I remember Landon. He didn't answer, but Landon liked to play video games. He liked to play virtual reality, and
that was fun.
I can't remember, but you got to find something else to do. Baseball isn't who you are; it's what you do. You got to have other stuff to do, at least in my opinion. Don't wrap your identity around being a baseball player. It'll eat you up. You have any questions?
Let's hear it.
Okay. And it was what you asked about earlier, because I wanted to ask you about 3-0s, but also now I want to ask you about players playing up. And I realize that's almost my expertise, but I'll let you answer first.
Because I grew up in Southern California in the 805. It was a little bit different setup, like age wise and division wise. There was no in Texas. There's the different there's AA, AAA, majors, all that stuff. There was none of that. I am a huge advocate of playing up, and I was one of those guys where even if it was more challenging or you were scared or whatever, iron sharpens iron. Like if you're dominating in youth baseball, you have to challenge yourself. So I'm a huge advocate of that. I don't know how, because I don't coach now. I don't know how that works, and I'd love to get your perspective on it. But if you have the opportunity to play, obviously if you're 11, don't play 14U. That's probably a little bit aggressive. But if you have an opportunity to play, if you're 11 and play 12U, I'd say go for it, because it doesn't serve you any purpose to be the best 11-year-old and the oldest 11-year-old and dominate 11U AA pitch. Like it doesn't make sense. So at least that's my perspective.
No, man, I agree. But also sometimes it's very forced, because there's a sort of pride about it, to where like there is at some point it's good to be the best player on the team. You get to be a leader. You get to do the stuff you need to do. You get to, just be confident and go out there and dominate, which helps. That can't be you every year, right? You also, there's at some point in your life, you need to be the worst player on your team. You need to be the one that's on the block, ready to get cut next season, and you have to just grind. And, that's important as well. And the middle is important as well. And so this is what I'm saying. As far as if your kid needs to play up, you probably don't know what's best. I hate that to say that about a parent, but like if a coach is trying to tell you do one thing or do the other thing, and this is probably what's best, he probably knows what's best because he's the one who's going to be making the lineup. Like I got some guys that play up and do very well, and they need to be playing up. But I will say, if you're playing up on one of my teams, you better be one of the best players. Because if not, why not just be the top one or two on a very competitive team? That's the thing. It's like the teams are competitive. So if there's a kid who is just an absolute standout and he's like getting worse because of the competition, he will move up right away. And I have some of those kids, but also it's forced sometimes too. This is a hard part is if you do play up, at some point you're going to have to play the same again and again. So like when you're a freshman for Barrel Factory, there might be one guy playing down, but there's never going to be a guy playing up because we want all the 2024s with all the 2024s. So when we go to showcases, that's what we want out there. It's like, hey, all these guys are juniors. This is, or all these guys are seniors or all these guys are sophomores. Yeah. You don't want to be like, well, he's a senior at shortstop, but everybody else is a junior. And they're like, well, why is he here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's the only thing that I think. And I think if your team now I know I'm talking too much, but on the total opposite side of things, if your team is an 11U team and they're playing up, that's probably good. You're probably doing something right because you don't need to chase after winning every game and getting these stupid $5 rings that don't matter at all.
Stupid.
You need to try to chase competition and chase getting better. If you're in the middle of the pack, that's a good place to be. But you got a dogfight every time. It's not just rolling through. And like I say, I'm a critic about it, but here I am. My teams win quite a bit, which we're better this year than we've ever been. But now I'm panicking, right? Because like we had our schedule set way in advance, and now the teams are winning. The 10U's 13-0. That scares me bad because I mean, we played some close games, but we haven't lost yet. We need to lose. We need to lose bad because like that's the reality of it. And you can do anything to get better competition too. You can move up to AAA, that's better competition, or you can move up an age group and just have your same team play up an age group, and that's fine as well. But I do think you have to get challenged.
Yeah. And if you're a dad of a player or a mother or whoever, and you're coaching a team or you have a young player, listen to Landon Dietrich. He knows, he's in it. That's great advice. I'm not qualified to talk on that at all, but that's beautifully said. So listen to him. Are you down for one more question?
Yes.
Because I got one. Last
Please
one.
do.
This comes up a lot. At least for me. When sometimes I'll have, and especially the older guys. So I'll have a guy come in for a couple weeks and we'll make adjustments or whatever. And then he'll go to practice during the week, whatever play, he'll come back and he'll change something. And he'll be like, and I'll notice it because we notice things. And I'm like, hey, what did you change? Well, I did this. Well, why'd you change it? Well, my coach told me to do this, or whatever. I said, cool, that's great. Why did he tell you to do that? And they go, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Are you yay or nay for it? Tell me how does that make you feel?
Man, I think in the end of the day, the coach is trying to help the kid. So is the hitting coach. They might have different views. They might not. At the end of the day, that's what it is what it is, right? And I, as a hitting coach and as a travel ball coach, so I have kids that hit with me that don't play on my teams, and I have kids that play on my teams that don't hit with me. I try to be on the same page as everybody, But also, I'm not going to take the time to give your personal hitting coach a call about your swing because he doesn't have the time for that and I don't have the time for that. Now, if you can just tell me what your thought process is, then we'll be on the same page. And I'll give you this is most likely why he said this. And this is what I would say, the same thing, but different way to say it. So I think it's fine. I think you're going to have 1,000 hitting coaches. You make it to spring training, there's going to be 30 hitting coaches walking around. Yeah. You're going to have to be able to be a chameleon a little bit and take the good stuff and throw out the bad stuff. This is why the why is so important. So if you have a hitting coach or you have a select coach and he tells you to do something, respectfully say, yes, sir, I will try that out. Can you help explain to me why this is going to help just so I know? And they will probably say, yes, this is why. And if they don't say this is why, then probably just disregard it because they don't know why. And it's just something their dad told your dad. And it probably doesn't make any sense to anybody. So what do you think?
That you couldn't have said it any better myself. And I say it a little more colorful. Like if I'd say, hey, I'll have kids come in and they'll be like, hey, I made this adjustment. This guy made this adjustment and I had 2 knocks. And I go, bro, tell your coach that I thank him because that's great. I want you to do well. If they give you a tip and you hit a freaking homer, then just do that. I'm all in on the player's development. And it's really easy as a hitting coach to go, don't do that. Like, he's stupid. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But it's not about you. It's about the kid performing well. But if there's a guy, if a kid is like raking and he feels great and he changes something, because I had one kid come in, his coach told him to change something because it looked weird, but the kid's raking all year. And if he doesn't explain to you what the adjustment means or why he's making the adjustment, you got to be careful. And like you said, this happens all the way up. And I've had conversations with big leaguers that we have played with. This happens at the major league level where there's 2 or 3 guys with different philosophies. I remember in spring training, there was like 9 different stuff going on. It's tough. And especially if you're trying to make a team and you're trying to make a good impression, if you're taking different stuff from everybody and you don't have a filter for it, it's going to get overwhelming and feelings are going to feel weird. So figuring out, like you said, your why, what works for you. If it feels good, do it. And if it feels weird, or if you don't understand it, ask them why they're making the adjustment. Because it's your career. Like it's your career. It's not your coach's. It's your career.
Yep. No, I agree. Can I shout out a coach real quick?
Please do.
Shout out Chris Dowdy, picture to my left. It might be right on the screen. I don't know. He's a superintendent, and he used to be a baseball coach, and now he coaches for Barrel Factory. He's cool, man. He's a cool guy. He gets after it. He listens to the podcast too to see what we're talking about, but he's always looking for the next, way to get better and to get his kids better and his son better. He's great, man. Like, I get to know him a little more every year, and we talk a lot, and he'll always answer the phone call and go, what's going on? And then I'll lay on him whatever problem I have, and he'll give me his superintendent knowledge, and he's just, I appreciate you, Chris. You're a beast. He also pitched in college. He's our pitching coordinator.
Where do you play college ball at?
The University of Mary Hardin Baylor. Go Crew, just like me.
I'm Kate.
He set some records, I'm pretty sure.
Shout out Chrissy Wissy.
Yeah, and then he coaches the team that walked off the championship, the big champ, the 10-year-olds 13-0. So he's been, he's been great. He's been fantabulous. He's the glue for that group, and the only one that doesn't know that is him.
So Chris, as the owner and founder of Big Time Baseball, to Chris, we appreciate your work, man. Thank you for what you do. What do you have going on this week?
Man, the team's playing Gatesville. Sunday only tournament. So 2 teams are out there, 8U and 11U. And we're gonna just flat get after their butts, dude. Get after it.
Excellent. That's all I got. I think we should wrap this up.
Me too, man. That was a great one, though. I will say,
good. Hey,
last week, not as much direction. This week,
no. Mr. Nix, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. You're awesome. Jagger, you're awesome. That's all we got. Thank you guys for listening.
See you later.
Bye.